Do 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 do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit and it's Groundhog Day because it's time to repeat something that was done in a video a long time ago. So when I hit 1,000 subscribers, there were a couple of requests, I think, to do challenges with certain cats, and they were Cheap, Crazed and Uber teams that I did. And I'll be recreating them this time, but in a slightly different and hopefully better way. So what I've got with me today is my cheap section in my slot 9, but this time everything's a lot cheaper. So I have 6 units that cost 75, which is I think the lowest cost in the game. It will be 50 when we go into the challenge. Then 2 at 90, and then the Monaco sisters, Monaco and Neneko, at 148, slightly cheaper than things like Tank Cat. And so I'm going to take these, first of all, into the challenge. Right, so as everything is incredibly cheap, I'm just going to start off by deploying everything. The Monaco, Neneko, they're not going to be able to be deployed for a while yet, because their recharge times are really quite long for how cheap they are. But the rest of them are very fast to deploy units, so we should be able to get a whole lot of them. And already there are a sea of little things. There's mushrooms, there's cat burgers. It's like dinner is running across the field of battle. Unfortunately though, there's an assassin bear about to destroy everything, so we took that out with a cat cannon, but as a result we took out a lot of moves as well. That just seems to happen because they are quite weak at this stage, and we have also reached our deploy limit. There's also some dancing Gato amigos having a great time, and of course Monaco and Neneko having a little of a slippy slidey travelator cats towards the base. Now we have Shy Boy biting us with all his might, and still apparently we are at our deploy limit, which makes no sense. But anyway, our meat shields are doing surprisingly well, but now that there are a lot more faces, loads of Shy Boys and a big old face, it's more difficult. And we managed to deploy some more Monaco and Neneko there, meat shielding for dear life. But the Shy Boys, I think they might be a little strong for what we have, but we have reinforcements coming along, so I'm sure it will be fine. I'm going to max out our worker cat now, so I think monies won't be too much of a problem. Just the deploy limit won't be our friend here, because we got cats which are quite weak, but we've got a lot of them. So, you know, we've filled up our deploy limit with stuff that won't really help too much. So we're going to use the cat cannon to our advantage. And before anyone asks, it charges so quickly because when you have all the treasures in Empire Cats Chapter 1 and the challenge, it works like having a very fast cat cannon just because you've got all those treasures. That's why it doesn't work in the other chapters, like Stories of Legend and stuff. You don't have it recharging so quickly. Right, how are we doing against these Shy Boys? Well, we're sort of holding our own. We're not making too much progress against them, but neither are they destroying us. Third round of Monaco and Neneko, and there we go. The Shy Boys are gone, leaving us only an angry face, who actually only destroyed a little bit of our cat spam there, so that's good. He should be gone in a little bit. We should be fine against him. And there we go, he's knocked back behind the base. All we have to do now is destroy said base, and the face won't be able to harm us at all, because the base will be gone, and the face will be gone. So, a little bit more health, but no! It's the assassin bear of death, come to wreak havoc on all of my cats. That was a bit unexpected, even though I should have known that that was going to happen. Nevertheless, face is so slow, and with our cat cannon we can keep him behind the base as we go towards it once more, and then take away the final little bit of health, and then the base will be ours and destroyed. There we go, taken out by Monaco there, I believe. So that's a victory. Pretty respectable score for all meat shields. Next, I'll be taking these into the Claw Dojo. The brilliant thing about the Claw Dojo is that you can easily put on a cat CPU, because of course you have an infinite number of them. So that's exactly what we're going to do with our meat shields. And we're going to press attack and watch the fun begin. So I imagine the CPU will just be deploying everything, hopefully. And I guess it will upgrade the worker cat now and then, but it will just keep doing that until it reaches a deploy limit, pretty much. So we'll see what the CPU makes of this and have a bit of fun watching. Next is an all Manic team. Now the last time I did this video it was Crazed and I didn't have the Crazed Legs cat yet, but this time I have Manic Mohawk cat, Manic Eraser cat, Manic Dark cat, Manic Macho Legs cat, Manic Lion cat, Manic Flying cat, Manic Island cat, Manic King Dragon cat, and Manic Jamira cat. All 9 of them. Not quite 10 cats because there aren't 10 basic cats, so there are only 9 crazed cats. You probably get the pattern. We're not going to use our cat cannon here because hopefully if we can be lucky with our Manic Lion, we should be able to land a hit on this guy. Or, as you can see there, Manic Jamira was actually beefy enough not to get knocked back and so landed a hit on Assassin Bear himself. So, now that we've got our Manic units with us, they're beefy, they're hypermax, they're colourful, they're dark and amazing. I don't know how they can be colourful and dark at the same time, but they manage it, and already the base is destroyed in lightning pace before I could really even talk about them at all. They're pretty powerful units. And now, to the dojo. Oh, well that's quite embarrassing. The CPU with the rather quite strong hypermaxed Manic cats has beaten my record by quite a substantial amount. Well, I'll just say that shows how good they are and not how bad I am. In this battle, I've tried to bring with me the Ubers that I didn't have last time. So the first row, as far as I could see, unless I've made a mistake from looking at the video, are Ubers that I didn't have in the previous time. And now that I have enough Ubers, all the slots are completely filled. So the ones on the second row are ones that you have seen before. Catman's in a different form, but here we have the Black Cat from the White Rabbit, which to be honest I use more often, but Black Cat looks pretty badass to be honest. And then we can save up a little bit more for Inferno Akira, who also looks pretty badass with his big red sword of flame and a sort of slow run, which looks like me on a sports day. But anyway, quite overkill on the Squirrel there, but he's gone now, so that's fine. Next, we're going to deploy Guardian Gamerion, who's big and tanky and is riding a sort of turtle thing. Or maybe the turtle's the Gamerion. I'm not sure, but anyway, the next thing that we can deploy after a little bit of saving up is the Chaos Moon, a big green explodey thing for which I made a terrible, terrible review. The Ubers are now on the base and the Assassin Bear is wreaking havoc, but the Cat Cannon is sure to stop them. And now, for the best Uber in the game, Dioramus himself, a big dragon, but other than that, completely and utterly useless. So I'm going to follow him up with some other Ubers, Oda, Tropical Kalisa, and Catman. And they're all going to head downwards, and I'm going to get ourselves a Spooky Thundia to follow him behind as well as a Divine Thundia. So they're going to be running towards the base. Guardian Gamerion is now running up and spurting flame at those guys, and here we go. Here come the destruction of the Ubers. Inferno Akira's big red flamey sword sticking out in front of the rest, then a massive anchor from Tropical Kalisa, and it does look like the Princess Kaguya, who I think is the one on top of the Chaos Moon, is sitting in a little bucket. That's quite funny, but now is overshadowed by the sheer tallness of Divine Thundia, and everybody is followed up on the rear by everybody's favourite Uber, Dioramus! Yay! What a brilliant kind of guy. He needs a true form, just saying. Anyway, the colourful expanse of Ubers is truly amazing, and it actually shows up something I didn't really realise before, how uncolourful Guardian Gamerion is. Quite an interesting thing, really. But that is the destruction of the Ubers on the challenge, and now, to send them to the dojo. And that is the end of the trial for the Ubers. They did a pretty smashing job and they're in a colourful ball of destruction, but them being pretty slow and expensive meant they couldn't really get as far as the Manic cats did. So that is Cheap, Manic and Uber teams. Sort of number 2, except it's got Manic this time, so it's slightly different. But yes, update to my cats and how much better they are, and the fact that now the dojo's been introduced, they can be tested to an even further level. And as I'm sure you already knew, the CPU is actually a better Battle Cats player than me. I hope you enjoy.